EVO. This series contains adult language and depictions of graphic violence. Listener discretion is advised. Dr. Sarah Chen was reviewing trail camera footage when she realized everything cryptozoologists understood about territorial predators was wrong. The timestamp read 3:17 a.m., October 12th, 2019. Location, Bardstown Road Railroad Crossing, 12 miles from the original Poplick Trestle. The infrared camera captured a creature identical to witness descriptions. 7 feet tall, goat-headed, humanoid torso, but this wasn't the same individual. Chen had been documenting the original creature's patterns for 2 years. She knew its movement habits, its hunting times, distinctive gait favoring its left leg due to an apparent previous injury. The Bardstown Road creature moved differently, hunted different hours, and most disturbing, was hunting simultaneously with the original location. Cross-referencing with Kentucky State Police reports revealed the pattern. Similar deaths at 7 railroad locations across Jefferson County, all during new moon periods, all involving victims with no reason to be near train tracks. The Poplick monster wasn't a single creature. It was a species, and it was spreading. By 2019, Kentucky State Police had quietly established what they called bridge protocol, specialized procedures for investigating deaths at railroad crossings involving unusual circumstances or, quote, wildlife encounters. Every officer in Jefferson County knew what it meant when dispatch mentioned possible bridge protocol incident. It meant someone else had met the creature with yellow eyes and that they weren't coming home. Welcome back to The Devil Within. You're listening to The Poplick Monster, Episode 2, The Spreading Shadow. If you're compelled by investigations that challenge our understanding of predator behavior and territorial expansion, make sure you're subscribed to The Devil Within and leave us a review. Your support helps others discover these examinations of how unknown species adapt to human environments, how ancient hunting methods evolve to exploit modern vulnerabilities, and how documented evidence forces us to reconsider what we think we know about the creatures sharing our world. Today, we explore the expansion of the Poplick monster activity beyond its original Kentucky territory. We examine the scientific evidence gathered by university researchers and confront the terrifying possibility that some cryptids don't just hunt. They reproduce, they adapt, and spread their hunting grounds in ways that challenge everything we understand about wildlife behavior and territorial predation. Chapter 4 of our story begins now. The copycat killings. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it. Robert Frost understood that some forces resist human containment. The Poplick monster's expansion would demonstrate that natural predators recognize no human boundaries, that railroad tracks and county lines mean nothing to creatures whose hunting grounds are defined by opportunity. The first confirmed sighting beyond Poplick occurred February 14, 2018, when conductor Maria Vasquez reported an encounter at Dixie Avenue Crossing, 8 miles northeast of the original trestle. I called out to let them know they were on railroad property, but when they turned toward me, I could see this wasn't human. The head was completely wrong, like a goat's with big horns, standing upright like a person. Obviously, her description matched the Poplick accounts precisely, but investigation revealed she couldn't have observed the same creature, because trail cameras at the original location showed the creature present there during the time of this other sighting. Simultaneous sightings at multiple locations forced researchers to reconsider their assumptions. Either they faced a creature capable of impossible speed or teleportation, or they were documenting a population rather than an individual entity. Additional 2018 and 2019 sightings supported the population hypothesis. Railroad employees, police, and civilians reported goat-headed bipedal creatures at Bardstown Road Crossing, Taylorsville Road Bridge, outer loop overpass, and 4 other locations within 20 miles of the original site. These weren't random encounters, but systematic patterns suggesting coordinated territorial expansion. Creatures were establishing hunting grounds at railroad crossings, offering optimal conditions. Isolated locations with limited escape routes, regular train schedules providing killing opportunities, proximity to population centers ensuring victim supplies. Detective Raymond Torres began documenting, quote, pattern deaths in early 2019, when analysis revealed Jefferson County railroad fatalities exceeded national averages by 400%. Deaths clustered around specific locations and times, suggesting coordination rather than coincidence. Quote, we started seeing deaths at different crossings following identical circumstances. Individuals with no risk-taking history found dead on tracks after being observed walking toward bridges, usually during new moon periods. Many victims carried items suggesting they were responding to distress calls. Cell phone records showed several had received apparent emergency calls from family or friends immediately before their death. But follow-up revealed supposed callers had no knowledge of making those calls. The most documented case occurred on August 7, 2019, when EMT Thomas Bradley was found dead near Taylorsville Road Bridge. Phone records showed a 17-minute call from his ex-wife Sarah Morrison's number at 11:47 p.m. But Morrison was asleep in Indiana. Her phone showed no outgoing calls. Quote, Sarah was genuinely shocked. She had no memory of contacting Thomas, no reason to call him. But his phone clearly showed a 17-minute conversation. Audio analysis revealed fragments of conversation in Morrison's voice discussing a fabricated emergency involving their children. Recordings contained acoustic elements consistent with Pope-like vocalizations, including subsonic frequencies and harmonic patterns suggesting non-human vocal production. Dr. Foster concluded the creature had accessed or replicated Morrison's voice patterns with sufficient accuracy to fool someone married to her for more than a decade. The voice analysis shows characteristics matching previous Pope-like recordings, but incorporates specific speech patterns, vocabulary choices, and emotional inflections unique to Mrs. Morrison. This suggests either access to extensive recordings of her speech or mimicry capabilities exceeding anything documented in known animal species. End quote. The discovery that creatures could reproduce specific human voices with such precision represented significant escalation in hunting sophistication. Early encounters involved generic distress calls, but newer incidents demonstrated technological awareness and social engineering capabilities approaching human-level intelligence. Railroad company documents revealed quiet implementation of enhanced security measures following this unusual wildlife activity. These included increased lighting, motion cameras, modified train schedules, and safety protocols for employees reporting large bipedal animal encounters. Quote, personnel who observe unusual wildlife behavior should immediately report to dispatch and avoid direct contact with the animals. Under no circumstances should employees attempt to approach or communicate with large bipedal animals observed near railroad property. This euphemistic language couldn't disguise the underlying reality. Major railroad companies had acknowledged dangerous bipedal creatures operating along Kentucky routes and modified operational procedures to account for predatory behavior threatening both employees and trespassers. By late 2019, the expansion pattern was clear. Creatures were establishing territories throughout Louisville metropolitan area, each offering optimal hunting conditions and human access. Expansion appeared to follow railroad lines, suggesting creatures used the rail network as a highway system for territorial colonization. Most disturbing was discovery that each new location quickly developed its own victim profile, with deaths occurring at rates suggesting active and successful hunting rather than occasional opportunistic attacks. Chapter 5. The Scientific Hunt. The best way out is always through. Dr. Marcus Webb's cryptozoology project began in January 2020 as routine wildlife survey. But systematic documentation revealed physical evidence suggesting unknown species with capabilities exceeding zoological literature. Motion-activated trail cameras at 12 railroad locations recorded over 200 hours of footage between February and May 2020, including sequences showing creatures engaging in coordinated hunting behavior. Most significant footage was captured March 15, 2020 at Bardstown Road, showing two distinct creatures working together to isolate potential victims. Footage shows creatures positioning themselves at trestles' opposite ends, creating a trap, forcing anyone crossing to approach one creature while being prevented from retreating by the other. The coordination, he wrote, suggests intelligence approaching human levels. The creatures aren't simply hunting individually, they're implementing tactical strategies requiring communication, planning, and understanding of human behavior. Camera measurements confirmed heights of 7 to 9 feet, powerfully built humanoid torsos, supporting heads combining human and goat characteristics. Creatures demonstrated locomotion, including vertical leaps over 15 feet, and movement speeds exceeding 35 miles per hour through dense forest. Audio recordings documented vocalizations, including perfect human speech reproduction, multiple animal calls, and mechanical sounds matching cell phones, car alarms, and emergency sirens. Acoustic analysis revealed sound production impossible with conventional mammalian vocal anatomy. Multiple independent sound-generating mechanisms allowing overlapping vocalizations with different frequency characteristics. Quote, "It's as if they have several different vocal cords operating simultaneously." Most disturbing were recordings capturing conversations between multiple creatures, suggesting language capabilities and strategic planning about human behavior patterns. Physical evidence included hair samples, scat specimens, footprint casts, and claw marks. DNA analysis yielded mammalian genetic material that was clearly non-human but didn't match known species databases. Results showed characteristics suggesting closer relation to humans than other primates, but with genetic variations indicating divergent evolution over thousands of years. Quote, "If accurate, we're looking at a species sharing common ancestors with humans, but developing along a completely different evolutionary pathway." Scat analysis revealed an omnivorous diet, including human DNA, suggesting regular consumption of human tissue rather than occasional scavenging. Quote, "The scat samples showed diet including normal forest vegetation, small mammals, and human biological material. The presence of human DNA in multiple samples suggests consumption of human tissue is a regular part of these creatures' feeding patterns." Footprint casts showed 5-toed feet with human-like arches, but claw marks and size proportions indicating non-human anatomy. Gait analysis suggested capability for both bipedal walking and quadrupedal running. Tree claw marks found near sighting locations indicated creatures were using vertical surfaces for territorial marking and possibly for communication. Marks were scored at heights requiring creatures to reach 12 feet from ground level. Thermal imaging revealed heat signatures differing from known mammals, showing temperature patterns suggesting metabolic processes unlike anything in zoological literature. Creatures showed heat distribution, suggesting selective body temperature regulation and ability to dramatically reduce heat output when motionless. Quote, "The thermal imaging shows heat distribution that doesn't match known mammalian physiology. The creatures show temperature variations, suggesting they can regulate body heat in ways impossible for conventional mammals." This capability would explain how they had avoided documentation despite operating in areas with regular human activity. By December 2020, Webb's team had compiled the most comprehensive cryptid behavior documentation ever assembled, challenging assumptions about evolutionary biology and predator behavior. Chapter 6. The Modern Menace. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The Poplik monster's transformation from regional folklore to internet sensation began with Jake Morrison's September 2020 YouTube video featuring night vision recordings of his creature encounter. Morrison's footage showed clear thermal imaging of a bipedal figure on the trestle, but what made it unique was the creature's vocal manipulation. As investigators approached, their equipment picked up vocalizations perfectly mimicking their own voices, calling them by name and providing personal information the creature shouldn't have known. "Jake, come up here, I found something," the voice called, using companion David's exact vocal patterns. But David was standing right next to him. The video captured 23 minutes of sophisticated vocal manipulation, with the creature reproducing previous conversations, mimicking absent family members, and engaging Morrison in direct conversation while maintaining the illusion of being his missing companion. The video went viral, accumulating 2.3 million views in its first week and spawning hundreds of reaction videos and copycat investigations. The Poplik challenge emerged in October 2020, with TikTok users attempting to recreate Morrison's investigation by visiting railroad locations where similar creatures had been reported. Participants didn't understand that creatures appeared to be learning from social media exposure, adapting hunting methods to exploit predictable behavior patterns of fame seekers. The first confirmed Poplik challenge fatality occurred November 18, 2020, when University of Kentucky student Amanda Wells was struck while filming a TikTok video. Wells had been live streaming to over 1,200 followers when her stream ended at 11:34 p.m. Viewers reported Wells responding to voices calling her name from different trestle locations, trying to follow someone she believed was guiding her towards a better spot. But stream analysis showed Wells was alone throughout her broadcast. Quote, "Amanda kept saying she could hear someone calling her to come further out on the bridge, and she kept saying, 'I'm coming, wait for me,' and moving deeper onto the trestle. But there was no one else on the stream." Wells's death was followed by 12 additional Poplik challenge fatalities across multiple states as participants traveled to reported creature locations. Deaths followed consistent patterns. Young people filming alone on railroad structures, responding to absent voices, failing to detect approaching trains. Social media platforms initially resisted removing Poplik challenge content, but implemented automated systems after mounting death tolls. Content creators adapted using coded language, obscure hashtags, private messaging, all of this to coordinate investigations. More disturbing was discovery that creatures were adapting to social media culture. In 2021 and 2022, incident reports included accounts of creatures using contemporary slang, referencing internet memes, and demonstrating knowledge of social media platforms. Detective Torres documented cases where creatures apparently assessed victims' social media profiles, incorporating information from private Facebook posts, Instagram photos, Twitter messages, into vocal manipulation attempts. Quote, "We had one incident where the victim received a phone call using information only available through her private Instagram messages. The creature somehow had access to conversations that weren't public." So the implications of technological adaptation were profoundly disturbing. Creatures weren't just learning from direct observation. They appeared to be accessing digital information systems and using online data to enhance hunting efficiency. By 2022, the Poplik monster phenomenon had spread globally, with similar creatures reported at railroad locations across North America, Europe, and Australia. Each location showed identical hunting patterns, suggesting either rapid species migration or coordinated expansion of cryptid populations actively colonizing human infrastructure. Norfolk Southern's partial demolition of the original trestle in 2019 failed to eliminate creature activity. Sightings continued at the remaining structure, with new reports from railroad locations throughout the region. Current investigation by Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife suggests the Poplik monster population has established permanent territories across multiple states and continues expanding through systematic railroad infrastructure colonization. Dr. Webb's project has documented over 400 encounters across 12 states, with evidence suggesting breeding populations that may include hundreds of individuals. The species appears to thrive in proximity to human civilization, using our infrastructure as hunting grounds and our technology for predatory manipulation. Recent incidents suggest creatures are moving beyond railroad-specific hunting, with similar behavior reported at hiking trails, abandoned buildings, and other isolated locations where humans might be vulnerable. Robert Frost wrote of choosing the road less traveled, but the Poplik monster's evolution from localized legend to global phenomenon demonstrates how quickly unknown species can adapt when they possess sufficient intelligence and behavioral flexibility. What began as isolated reports has become evidence of a cryptid species thriving in proximity to human development while actively using our infrastructure and communication systems to enhance predatory efficiency. Social media amplification reveals the dark side of our interconnected world. Technology that allows information sharing and community building can be weaponized by predators understanding our psychological vulnerabilities better than we understand them ourselves. Creatures have learned to exploit not just individual weaknesses, but collective behaviors, turning viral culture into victim recruitment. The expansion across continents suggests we're witnessing not just species spread, but emergence of new predator-prey relationships between humans and entities that have learned to exploit vulnerabilities created by technological civilization. As our world becomes more connected and dependent on digital communication, we may be creating perfect hunting environments for predators that understand our systems better than we understand theirs. Frost's traveler claimed his choice made all the difference, but Poplik victims aren't making choices. They're following scripts written by creatures whose understanding of human behavior has been refined through decades of successful hunting. The tragedy isn't poor judgment. It's encountering predators that use our own technology, social behaviors, and viral culture as weapons against us. Next time on The Devil Within, we continue in the cryptid culture. We venture into Michigan's Upper Peninsula, where the Dogman has stalked hunters and campers for over a century. This isn't another Bigfoot derivative. The Michigan Dogman, as investigated earlier, represents something more disturbing. A predator that targets specific individuals, following them across distances and demonstrating planning capabilities, suggesting intelligence equal to our own. Until then, remember, some monsters adapt faster than we can understand them, some predators use our technology against us, and some roads we travel are paths designed to lead us toward destinations we never intended to reach. Thanks for listening to The Devil Within. This has been The Poplik Monster, Episode 2. The Devil Within is an EVO production recorded live at Bel Air Studios in Los Angeles, California. For The Devil Within, I'm your writer and host, Brandon Morgan.